Look, there's a little police box. It's actually a free library. All right, guys, we are going to be going into the Rosemary House Herbal and Tea Shop. This is in Pennsylvania. And we're going to pick up some herbs to make some tinctures and some infused oils for projects for Christmas time. All right, guys, in this video, we're going to take a quick tour of this herbal store and the gardens that are on the property. And then we are going to go home, harvest some of our own herbs to go along with the herbs that we pick up here and make herbal infused oils. You can use them for eating. You can use them for making salves and lotions and body butters and all that fun stuff, which we are going to do. And I wanted to point out that all of the tins and all of the jars on these shelves are actually full of herbs. At first I thought they were just for decoration, like the big tins, but they are actually full of the herb that is on the label, and that is super cool. If you guys make the journey to a town that has a really cool herbal shop like this, you might as well, while you're in town, hit up a coffee shop like we did. And we went to an Italian restaurant, and there's antique shops. So make a day out of it, even if you don't have one in your town. Yeah, look at that big fig tree. It's got tons of figs on it. Ooh. Maybe one day mine will be like that. Okay, there's something I want to point out about the gardens here. This building is in a town with a city-size lot. And if you think that you can't have an amazing garden in just a small city-sized lot, check out all that they do on here. Now, yes, they use their lot, and it looks like the one next to them, which I don't know if they own that building or not. So they're using a double city lot, but just in half of what they use, you can have a beautiful, amazing, productive garden. Oh, this was off of the old amusement park. Yeah, the teacup ride. Their gardens gave me some really great ideas for some design and some new plants that I would like to grow. Just being in the store and seeing some of the herbs that they offer made me realize that there's a lot of things I could be growing, and I'm not yet, and I will be. All right, let me show you all the goodies we got from the Rosemary House. A bag of calendula. This is an ounce. This was $2.80. Thyme. $3 for a whole ounce of thyme. That's quite a bit of thyme. Okay, so yes, I bought plantain. We do have plantain growing outside. Most people do, because it's actually a weed. But when my husband mowed, it was kind of took away our plantain patch. But now that we've had a whole bunch of rain, the plantain is really popping up. So I am going to harvest more leaves, but I have a feeling I'm going to need a whole lot. I've got a lot of recipes I want to use this in, so I picked some up. Comfrey root. Now, I was actually looking for comfrey leaf. They didn't have the leaf, but they had the root. I also wasn't able to get the marshmallow. They usually carry marshmallow root. I wanted the leaf or flower, but the root would have been okay, but they were all out. They say they go through a whole lot of that and they run out pretty quick. So maybe next time. And chamomile. So we got chamomile, an ounce of that for $3.40. And something else that I got there that the prices were so cheap it's not even funny was like jars and bottles. So I believe this was $1 or $2, and I want the amber for our finished products so that the UV rays don't break down in the integrity of some of the stuff that we're making. So this one is just a screw top on it. And then I got two, these look like vintage, and some of them are probably pretty old, little tincture bottles with a little brain leaving me, but you know what I mean. So I got a couple of these too. Okay, so it's time to harvest the herbs that we do have growing in the gardens, and I am counting this video towards our Every Bit Counts challenge, which is hosted by the Three Rivers Homestead, because we are harvesting and preserving our own products and creating a preservation method out of everything we bought and what we're harvesting today. Okay, so we had all that rain and all this plantain, which is like a weed, is finally starting to come up through. And before my husband mows, which he's getting ready to right now, I'm going to go through the yard and harvest leaves of plantain. Okay, so this morning we cut all these herbs, including this rosemary. I'm gonna cut it into some smaller pieces and put it on trays, and we're gonna start drying it. I'm probably actually gonna go out and cut some more, but let's see how far this gets us. Okay, I picked a little bit of lavender. I got some lavender leaves from a couple different plants. The flowers are beyond their prime for such things, but I have some anyway. And something is better than nothing. And we'll still use them. Okay, so we have a full dehydrator's worth of herbs. That is 6 trays of herbs, 3 of the basil, 1 rosemary, 1 lavender, and 1 oregano. And our house smells amazing. And once they get in the dehydrator, oh, it's gonna smell great. All right, I got 3 trays of basil on the bottom, rosemary, oregano, and lavender. Setting it for like 95. You want these on low. Time, I'm gonna let them go as long as they take. I'll put it in for 24 hours, but we'll see. Guys, it's really early in the morning, so I'm gonna be really quiet and I'm gonna voice over this footage, but we're gonna make our herbal infused oils right now. And we've got one we're gonna make for healing on your skin topically, and we have one we're gonna make for making our lotions and body butters. It's still very healing, therapeutic, but it is more meant for beauty. And guys, I want to just show you my beautiful vintage jars. I have a bunch of these. I got them from a lady down the road, and she was in her 90s. That was about 2 years ago. And she remembers her mom and grandma using these jars. I got like a box of them for $10. And I like using them for stuff like this because I don't like canning with them. I know they did, but like there's bubbles and imperfections in the glass. And I also, it would break my heart if these broke or something happened to them in the canner. If you know anything about jars and have a good website for me to go to date my jars, I mean, these are pretty cool. I don't know, I'm such a geek, but yeah, I love that. Okay guys, the first herbal infused oil that we're gonna make, I'm gonna end up using it as a healing salve in the end. These are gonna have to sit for a couple months before we can end up making the salve. And what I'm putting into this oil is rosemary, comfrey, the plantain that we bought at the store, and plantain that we harvested in our own yard. And we're gonna add calendula to this. All of these herbs that we're putting in here have amazing healing properties. Some have a little different than others, but most of these are going to have a antifungal and antibiotic properties to them. But essentially, the salve that we're going to end up making out of this is going to be good for our cuts, scrapes, skin irritations, heck, even bug bites and itches. This is going to be a really great product to use. And honestly, if your hands are just super chapped, or you have like a part of your skin that's just really dried and chapped, you can rub this into it and it'll help heal your skin really well. I mean, the olive oil by itself is really healing as well. Okay, once we have all of our herbs in here, and it should be no more than, honestly, a half to 3/4 of the jar. I got a little bit crazy with the calendula, but once we have about half or a little bit more of dried herbs into our jars, we're going to then add oil. We want to have the oil covering all of the herbs. And I'm mixing it up really good to make sure that the oil has contact with every bit of the herb. So this next herbal infused oil we're making is primarily, my use will be for my skin beauty, keeping it moisturized, and these all will have healing properties as well. This isn't necessarily going to be a healing salve though. We're going to end up turning this into some body butters, and it'll just feel a little extra luxurious on your skin by making it into a butter and more like an everyday use product. So what we're adding to this one is the calendula, chamomile, lavender, and I decided to put a little bit of rosemary in there, and rose petals. Rose petals, rose oils, rose water is really good for your skin. And I urge you to look these herbs up for yourself to see the different healing properties, because there may be ones that you want to use and don't want to use for your skin type. But all of these work really great for me. And on this one, instead of using the olive oil, I'm using the grapeseed oil. It's a little bit lighter of an oil on the skin, and I'm going to try using this for my face this time. I have a really hard time with oils on my face, lotions of any kind on my face. I break out, and some of my videos you might see I have like bumpy skin, and that's from trying new skin lotions and oils. And at this point, I want to mention, I am not a doctor. I am not a licensed herbalist or anything along those lines. I've just been using herbs for over 20 years now, herbs and essential oils, and I swear by them. But all of this information is just for educational, informative, and entertaining information for you guys. I'm not trying to replace any medications, doctors, or anything along those lines. Just thought this would be a really fun project to do with you guys. And then we're going to end up turning these oils that we're making today into really great salves and lotions and body butters later on in the year.
I'm also going to write in my journal everything that I put into these, and the date. Is a very high likelihood that these are going to get all oily or they're going to fall off. So, and I want to keep track. I didn't like measure amounts. I just kind of tossed them in how I liked them. So, but isn't that really pretty with the rose petals? Look at that. How beautiful is that? Hey guys, thank you for watching another episode of Garden in Greece. I know this is a little bit different than what I'm usually doing, but herbs and essential oils have been a big part of my life for years, and they're what we prefer to use to heal ourselves with. We don't like to use big pharma for too many things unless we have to, because there is many needs where we do need to turn to pharmaceutical medication, and just showing you a little bit of what I really enjoy doing and using. Now, these are gonna sit in the pantry in my basement, cool dark spot, for like 2 months. You could do like 6 weeks, even 4 weeks, but I just let them sit for a couple months, and then it'll be perfect timing that we can then make the finished product, and we can gift it out as well for Christmas. And well, we're gonna keep a bunch for ourselves too.
Even just an image of it, a picture.